Have you ever felt? Are you listening? Damn.
Buy low, sell high, that's easy, right? But the problem is to define where are those lows and highs and how when you need to enter those positions. And why I personally like crypto is that without being a super long-term investor, you would be able to enter at least your long position and expect the price going to the upside relatively soon. Like even, for example, you bought Bitcoin somewhere at the top for $20,000 and now you're thinking, oh, everything is gone, it's like so dropped and so on. But guys, like if you play with stocks, you would have to wait this to recover for years, if not decades, for such a rise. But for crypto, well, come on, how long we would need to wait from now on? A year max to reach 20,000, maybe even like 6 months or less. It's the like crazy space. It can go to the same maximum level within like weeks actually, and if will be some really positive regulation or news or something like that, because it's really low and I mean really early stage. And in anyways it must recover within like a year or two, and it's much faster than if you would like invest in something else and more like traditional markets, and you would have to wait much longer for those. So speaking about all of that, let's look at the price and what's happening with that because of the some news. And there is some like negative sentiment about the Ether Delta founder was fined for the fact that this exchange was not regulated one. And well, it's like you see Bloomberg and like Reuters, New York Times, those are like the traditional mass media, conservative mass media, which are pushing this like negative news, and like they put the more like negative flavor on that than the crypto oriented news sources, in my opinion, because you see it's not that bad. It's just like, okay, things like this happen. It doesn't matter that it doesn't mean that like the price of crypto, Bitcoin or some altcoins should drop because of that. No, it's just like the regular things happening in general in in our life. But it's not that like a bug of Bitcoin was found or something. It doesn't mean that the price should behave like that, because you see these two daily candles, they are like really strong actually, like comparing to even this one. It's basically the same in stronger drop. Yesterday I think we were looking at this somewhere around here, and I was saying, yeah, this channel is too obvious, and we probably would see some correction, some going down from that channel, because everybody see that and everybody would expect a drop from those levels. But that big, maybe it's a bit too much. I don't think that we will go below 6,200 or 6,150, like this area, because a lot of the buy orders will be around here. A lot of people will want to enter the position on those like sweet levels. So I doubt that it will happen, that it will go lower. But again, if we will go, don't forget to leave some of the fiat to be able to buy in at the dip. And like if it go to 6,000, buy it. If it go to 6,500, 5,500, buy it again. If it will go to 5,000, buy more. And don't buy for all of your fiat, but keep a little more for the chance it will go like for 4,000 or even 3,000. I know it's ridiculous. I know it's unlikely to happen, but for short term, it may happen. And actually, maybe it's not for short term. Like it can stay there for a month in principle. I know about the mining argument and everything, but you know, there are counter arguments. Like mining companies may work without selling Bitcoin, and huge companies will survive, and small miners, nobody cares about them. So and so on and so forth. But on the more reasonable or like logic standpoint, for example, you see the long positions, they are following the price and quite high at the moment. So this drop didn't actually make them drop that much as we saw them, for example, like here. And if we look at the short positions, they were dropping this area from the drop of this one, and which is already like quite weird. So it seemed like people who were going short before that, they don't believe in the price of Bitcoin will go low. And even now, when it goes even like much lower, well, not much lower, it sharply, let's say it goes down sharply, no change in the short positions whatsoever. So it's no rise, basically. It's virtually nothing here, and it means that people don't believe in the drop. Of course, on the one hand, or actually on the contrary, it's good time to make super low from that point, but because there is no short and positions, too many short positions, and it means that not so many people will profit from that. The market will be happy to rip off more people and increase the bags of the whales. But on the other hand, as we already discussed before, this condition, this situation in the price, based on many parameters, is just overwhelmingly bullish, and it's really hard to imagine that all of those key points will not play out. And even if they would, like if it will drop below the previous historical like low during the recent 5 or 9 months, then it will not stay there for long. I mean, those bullish signs will play out, and we will see the rise to the new local highs, in my personal opinion. Don't forget, it's not financial advice, of course, so stay safe with your trades. Speaking about the general strategy in the market, I must say that a lot of the coins are now in the very interesting positions, in the way that, let's say, well, okay, Cardano, whatever, you can pick any coin you want. The thing is that at this point, when it was very high in both in Bitcoin and fiat, in order to reach this, you need to apply a lot of the capital in fiat. But I think that for altcoins, if you trade altcoins, it's much more reasonable to adjust or count your profits and losses in Bitcoin, actually, because eventually a lot of the capital will be stored in Bitcoin, I think, in every cryptocurrency portfolio, because it's like the best crypto and more stable and so on. But the thing is, currently, in order to reach the same Bitcoin price in Bitcoin, you need much less fiat. So it means that the market capitalization in fiat may rise like much less than it was before, like not 4 times, but let's say 2 times or something like that, and then still the price of the coin in Bitcoin will be the same. So, and then eventually, if Bitcoin will go up, and then you can get additional profit from that point. So the coins which will have sudden increase or just like some rise before Bitcoin, before new bull run, will actually be very promising, very profitable in the long term. So I would pay attention on those coins. And just a couple of words about the market leaders that we were looked at before. Basic attention token, it continues to fall after the listing, which is no surprise, but I like the liquidity which it had finally after Coinbase listing, and although it is dropping, I don't think it's something crucial. I think it's quite promising on the long term, because you know, the fundamentals are good, and also It's just basically following the drop of Bitcoin as many other altcoins. So I wouldn't really consider this as a bad sign for the future price evolution. Stellar. And this one is very interesting because in principle it is not depressing, not as much depressing as other altcoins on the market. You see that from the drop, major drop in the beginning of the year, it basically has very low decrease in price and continues to even like rise its lows constantly and flattening in much narrower area, much narrower region. So a lot of people look at Stellar as one of the new leaders in the market. Maybe it will be like first 4, or now it's like rank 6 or rank 5 or 4 soon. It's very likely, like replace Bitcoin Cash or something like that. And also like a listing on Coinbase is possible. So I would really look positive on this coin, but optimistic about that. But don't forget that with this huge capitalization, you will not be able to get super huge profits from the investment. But it may be a nice like a safe investment for in the altcoin area, instead of just say buying some very low cap coin. Like this may be a nice steady growth long term. So that is it for today, guys. Concluding what I said, I would not expect this to drop. I would expect this holding this sort of a quasi trend line which I drew before, and I hope that we will see some rise within days or maybe a couple of weeks to the new local high. But again, don't forget that it's better to go long than go short. So I wouldn't risk to short it, but better implement dollar cost averaging technique on the way down and take some little profits on the way up. Safe trading, guys. Don't use your stop orders. Leave a like and subscribe if you like the content, and I hope to see you tomorrow in the next update.